Good afternoon, esteemed comrades. Today we are conducting I want to emphasize, a planned nuclear forces command and control exercise, as the Minister of Defense just reported. Let's get to work.
The world stands at a very tense moment. Russia, under President Volodymyr Putin, has just carried out a full-scale nuclear readiness test, a bold warning to its enemies. They say the drill includes launches from all parts of its nuclear force, a Yars missile from a ground silo, a Sineva missile from a submarine in the Barents Sea, and cruise missiles carried by long-range bombers. Moscow insists this was no panic move. It was planned carefully. The goal, they say, was to check their command and control system, to make sure their nuclear forces stay reliable even when things get tough. Senior military leaders reported directly to Putin, running through the steps that, in the worst scenario, would allow them to use nuclear weapons. For Putin, this is more than just a military drill. It's a political theater. The timing was not random. It came just as planned summit with Donald Trump fell apart, and as Western countries increased sanction on Russian oil industry. By showing off its nuclear strength, Moscow seems to be saying, we are ready and we are not afraid to prove it. At the same time, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is traveling hard, pushing for more support. He has been meeting NATO leaders and also visiting allies in London, Paris, US and Sweden and more, ask for more advanced weapons and support. One of the biggest developments is Sweden and Ukraine have signed a letter of intent to deliver up to 150 Swedish-made Gripen fighter jets to Ukraine. These aren't just ordinary jets. The Gripen E models are made to operate from short, rough runways, which makes them very useful in a war zone. The Swedish Prime Minister says this is a long-term plan. Deliveries could begin in about 3 years and the full deal could take over a decade. So is this move a way towards lasting security for Ukraine, or a step that could make the war even more dangerous? On the economic front, pressure on Russia is also growing. The US has imposed tough new sanctions on Russia's biggest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, accusing them of helping Putin's war machine. These sanctions are meant to cut off key money flows. Putin, however, says they are unfriendly and insists they won't force him to back down. In London, Zelensky arrived for a big summit called the Coalition of the Willing, led by the Britain and France. He used the meeting to make his case plainly. Our priorities today are air defense and energy. He said that Putin has not made real progress on the ground, no gains on the front line, and has instead turned out to what he truly believes in: terror. Zelensky stressed the need to protect Ukraine's essential infrastructure and stop blackouts. He said his government will share measures with allies to help rebuild energy systems, through equipment, rebuilding plans, and gas imports. He also talked about air defense. He said Ukraine is in talks to buy Patriot missile system from the US, but pointed out that many such systems already exist in Europe, just sitting unused. He urged countries with these systems to send them now to protect Ukrainian skies. But when we put all of this together, the nuclear show of force from Moscow, the jet deal with Sweden, the oil sanctions and the summit in London, and what do we see? Not a clear road to peace, but growing signs of escalation. Diplomacy is being squeezed from all sides. So the question for the world is more urgent than ever. Who will take a step back first before things spiral out of control? Thank you for watching.